Yes, a very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Thank you so much for watching and welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. Let's start with a look at the top stories. President Yoweri Museveni pledges to construct all major roads in West Nile when voted back to office. FDC candidate Nandala Mafabi promises to protect the Karimojong cattle from rustlers. NUP candidate Chagulanyi promises jobs to Bunyoro youth. While government to compensate people of Nakasongola with setting up a nuclear energy plant. UBC News Tonight, the second edition. Thank you so much for tuning in. The National Resistance Movement Party presidential candidate General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni wraps up his campaign trail in West Nile sub-region at Paridi Stadium in Adjumani district with a call to the electorate to embrace wealth creation at household level, sustain peace and stability as government scales up macro infrastructure development. Museveni says if he is voted for another term in office, pledges to construct all major roads in West Nile, including between Adjumani and Obongi districts, as he directed the Ministry of Works and Transport to ensure timely maintenance of both tarmac and Maram roads to avoid depletion.
Paridi Stadium in Adjumani was full to capacity as thousands of the NRM supporters thronged to listen to their presidential flag bearer, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The Adjumani rally marked his last campaigns in West Nile as crossed to Acholi sub-region in the afternoon hours. Just like his message to the rest of the country, Museveni urged the electorate in Adjumani to embrace wealth creation at household level and sustain peace and stability.
So therefore, I beg you, please, don't relax on this program of PDM. Here, what we want, wealth creation is not like football.
Where you
have got players and spectators. Here, everybody must be a player. That's why we are saying that, please, you cultural leaders, come and show how to be cultural by being rich. And the religious leaders, we are saying that Jesus taught about the talents, those who multiplied the talents.
Connecting all West Nile districts with a tarmac has also been his pledge to West Nile, including between Adjumani and Obongi to Terego, from Moyo to Yumbe, then to Koboko, Panyamul and Pakwach to Madiokolo to Rhino Camp.
So therefore, I want us to agree that the roads must be both tarmac and Maram must be always in good condition. So the security road from Pakere to Pabo is in a bad condition. It must be worked on.
Letibari anyeto ngadi ko ya pakilesi ori ya ire pabodi ungwele security road di yani diaru tuiku kole angbe ide mi emira.
The road from Adjumani to Obongi is also in a bad condition. So once we agree on the budgeting, what comes first, things will move.
He appealed to Adjumani residents to vote for him and all other NRM candidates since they have proved good work, including increased population growth in Adjumani, attributing it to health interventions, especially immunization.
And as I speak about development, I must notice that the population of Adjumani has now come up. By 1969-70, the whole of Madi, Moyo, Adjumani, Obongi, we are like 90,000. You can go and check in the census of 1969. So when I come here and I see that Adjumani alone is 300,000 people, I feel very happy.
The Adjumani District NRM Chairperson Charles Akuku Anzo has made several demands to his party presidential candidate General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for consideration, including the establishment of 2 bridges linking Adjumani District to Obongi and Moyo districts to replace the ferries. The NRM candidate will on Tuesday campaign in Acholi sub-region in the districts of Nwoya and Omoro.
Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Nathan Nandala Mafabi reached Moroto district at around 5:30 p.m. and his supporters were waiting for him, chanting FDC, but Nandala did not stop. He just proceeded via Moroto town to Kamswahili, where he addressed supporters. He was expected to address his supporters at Naitakwe Playground in Moroto district at 3 p.m. where his supporters were waiting, but only passed through him with the procession. Joint security forces of the UPDF and police were heavily deployed from Naitakwe, Moroto roundabout and Kamswahili. After exchanging with security, Nandala later addressed supporters at around 6:30 p.m. on the road side in Kamswahili. He is expected to hold a rally in Kotido. Still in the campaign line, the National Unity Platform presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also known as Bobby Wine, has promised the people of Kagadi and Kibale that he will create jobs for the youth and improve upon the socio-economic infrastructure in the area. Addressing a public rally in Kagadi Town Council, Kyagulanyi asked Kagadi residents to overwhelmingly support him so as he elevates Kagadi Hospital to a referral, improve teachers' salaries and create more jobs for the young people.
You can transform not only Bunyoro but all of Uganda, Nefukanga, Dubai. It is the power that lies in your hand. So mupeyo mulonde njagala kubasaba mwenna mwabali wano naddala mwabalinaga n'amasimu mutuyambe mu pushing this message further. Tulina aba student teeka mukono waggulu bw'oli mwana wa somero. Wow, now let me talk to you the students. I want you to understand.
As President Yoweri Museveni prepares to campaign in Busoga sub-region, residents say they have waited long enough for promises to turn into action. From crippling loan rates and poor wages to military harassment and mismanaged government programs, the concerns are many and the voices are growing louder. Our reporter Ivan Kahwa traveled to Busoga sub-region, and the residents seem to be having pressing issues they want to address to the president and hear or see what can be done.
Busoga region is a land of potential, culture and resilience. Yet beneath this surface lies deep frustration. As the NRM presidential flag bearer Yoweri Kaguta Museveni prepares to campaign in Busoga in November 2025, the people here have one plea: intervene now.
President Museveni atusulirire nga ife otuzira category yetu gwamu.
From the dusty maram roads of the past to now tarmacked highways, progress has come, but at a cost too high for many. In Busoga, motorcycles are not just transportation, they are livelihood, but high interest loans are strangling the youth who rely on them.
Zenine pichi satu nzivuga looni naye batulisasula bbeeyi piki tuzisasula wiiki 10 n'ennaku 4 ne wiiki 4 naye buli wiiki tusasula buti emitwalo 10 nga mu kampuni ya watu mu Mugo tulikalubizibwa nnyo piki egenda okugwayo nga tusasudde piki 2 kati bwengamba kyaterezemu awo mutabadde bubi kuba nange Mayuge natandika okuvuga boda nga wali kataka kati tuvuga kolansi nafe.
In Mayuge, local leader Ikona Kefa welcomes investment but says it must come with fair labor practices.
Era kyembadde mwenyumikirizamu nti atuletedde abo ba investors ne batuwa emirimu atekewo ko range ye sente nti omuntu alina atandikira ku sente bweziti nti omukozi mu Uganda atandikire ku 15,000 oba nusu kasanvu naye waliwo abaana abakolera 3,000 babakolesa okuva ku macha paka sawa 12.
Beyond wages, security forces once seen as protectors are now viewed with distrust and fear. Fishermen along Lake Victoria accuse soldiers of exploitation and harassment, claiming they are forced to pay to access waters legally.
President yateeka amagye ku nnyanja gasobole okuuma ensalo n'okutukuuma ku mazzi nga tebatubba bintu byaffe. Naye amagye gatwefuulira ssaawa zino gatubba baafuuka babbi. Batuggyako ssente ne batusaba ssente tulyoke tuvube. Like wiiki emu okugivuba ku nnyanja owaayo emitwalo 5. We bakukwata nga toyina nvuba mbi oba obutimba bw'olina bunene at least bafuna obwennyanja obutono ne bakubuteekako ne bakusaba ssente. Ebyo bye bimu ku biri kwonoona pate yaffe.
The issue of beating women and men in the lake is going to stop.
Ensonga y'okubinga abavubi abaami n'abakyala ku maadhi eri kujja kulekerawo mbagirawo.
Because now we have a law.
With nowhere else to turn, some like Johnny Biansi, not his real name, has resorted to illegal trade to feed his family after being pushed off the lake by military operations.
Apolisi batutawanya naye Museveni yaggulawo n'agamba tutandike otunda maali kuba tetulina mirimu. Ennyanja batugobako kati tukole tutya tulyewa tubbe.
The National Forestry Authority is also under fire, accused of heavy-handedness and brutality.
Abava mu kiterera bayide malongo bakyokoza abantu baba kuba emigo bayita n'abantu nali nakafuirwa abantu 4 mwaka oguweire. So ndi kubira president omulanga anambe NFA n'abajasi abali ku NFA baleetaawo balaxi bagitolewo eri kuyita abantu ab'obwerere.
Sugarcane prices remain low. Locals say the government's promises have yet to bear fruit.
Ebikajjo birigula emitwalo 12, 13 ne 14 wakati awo ku bamiras. Naye nga sukaali olaba ettaani bbeeyi gy'eriko n'onyoonereza ekikajjo bbeeyi gye bali kigula. Bbeeyi ekikajjo eri ku nusu 25, 30.
Local council leaders want direct engagement with the president, saying their issues are lost in political protocol.
MP waife yatusindikira eno nga neisanga yatusobola okutuwa embago. Embago edo sandi twamba okutukubira amaki okukuba amatafwali. So mbeere nkusaba yena atuteremu ku akasente tufuna akasente akanayo kya amatafwali ago. Ndi kubira president omulanga nife ba kansala nganze kansala ntwala abantu wanene omuluko ogotosobola kutambula wiiki n'ogumala ayenzera wala gali wala kumpayo musala wala 10.
So ndi kusaba baba twena bakulembeze ngabeero siwana bakya pasoni tulwaniriza ebizibu bingi. Baba tusaba twena obe ku nengeri yotubone ku meeting nga kumu nga wo meeting abana ife kyankwanzi twena oyetenga ku kwabeero siwanu twena be tuide ku meeting ku maiso ayo meeting abachayimani ba 3 ayo ife babona tukola ki tutu meeting ayo nifo tusosinga kumenekana ebizibu baba n'omusala gwona tusaba baba otuongezeeku.
Even well-meant government programs like the parish development model are riddled with complaints of embezzlement and exclusion.
Olina ebitu byogire ng'okola ebitu gasa ife such as PDM owere abantu emiliyoni 10 buli kumuluka wabula ensonga eyo abatulya esente ndi bano ba RDCs bajja kutusa sente ku level ife ebyalo nga olifuna emitwalo 3 nze mu parish yange ninzo kuba atuweza abantu 50 bafuna sente naye nga mulundi gwa kusatu mukutaka sente ku parish model niba MPs betusindika bona babenga tebatusulirira webale kutuyamba watuyamba ebintu bingi nga butimuluka gwange nalinzira amasanyalaze bwengire 2001 nafuna ebikondo bingi town yange yona idule ki masanyalaze okutwaliza na igombolola ekintu ekyokubiri amaadi tugafunye tulinago wabula ife nga ba councillors omusala gwe amazima getagisa mutono ate gutuka ngemiezi kumpi enane ndanka bitawo.
From border riders to fishermen, sugarcane growers and local leaders, the message from Busoga is clear. The region is ready to grow, but it needs policies that work on the ground, not just on paper. Residents aren't just asking for promises anymore. They are demanding action, accountability, and a seat at the table where decisions about their future are made. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
The National Resistance Movement Secretariat has announced a significant shift in its campaign strategy ahead of the 2026 elections. Ambassador Barbara Nekesa Ondo, the NRM treasurer, says that the new strategy is opting for grassroots and district structures rather than the traditional national task force-led model.
And they come from their areas. We are going to have a parish mobilization strategy. So they are going to move from village to village to ensure that they tell people the benefits of electing flag bearers who are connected to government and who only can deliver results here. And then secondly, we also, this was meant to prepare them for the rally of the national chairman and the presidential candidate who will be here on the 14th next month to campaign in Busia district, and we want them to welcome him in the best way possible.
Nolwekyo njagala okubasaba ekigambo ky'aba independent is a thorn in the foot. Eryo liggwa litufumitanga ekibiina. Njagala okubategeeza basaba ne bannyabo nti bw'ogatta obululu bw'ebifo bye twafiirwa n'ogatta obululu bw'aba independents ogenda okukizuula nga ba independents obululu bwonna bwe baafuna obulyawo ne flag bearer bwe yafuna nga bw'obugatta opposition yali tesobola tuttako. Naye because tubugamanya mu buli ngeri we give opportunity to the opposition.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has cautioned NRM members who lost in the party primaries against misleading the public that President Yoweri Museveni endorsed their independent bids. He was speaking in Kashari North, Mbarara district.
The NRM flag bearer for MP Kashari North in Mbarara district, Patrick Musinguzi, organized to appreciate his supporters for voting for him and to mobilize support for President Museveni.
I thank my people who voted me. That is not something that I should forget about. It is something that is very, very good to thank the people who voted me into power. I'm not yet into power, but I think we have reached one step away.
Musinguzi said Mbarara district residents are willing to vote for President Museveni with overwhelming support.
In Mbarara district, we are not ready for the president to get less than 98%. We shall do whatever it is very possible within our means to ensure that the president gets there. So we shall vote him, and he has to be our next president because this is his last term. It's although the youth who are saying no, but let's give this man, the revolutionary leader, man who went to the bush for 5 years, let's give him a very good send-off.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, clarified that although the President met with independent candidates in Arua, he did not grant them permission to contest as independents.
President Tarichi is independent. Imbirende nawe Arua ijo ngarukireyo nambugana nachi mugambira kana aba independent kuna agenda bajateche kigambo mukireke abo bana muzakuteganisa ekibina kandi nangwa ba independent n'abagizi b'ekibina ntibamanya nimanye kinagambe kintu basabutashemeza abagenzi banje abinjiriyo ninkora nabo mu parliament abatarabu independent konkakizibu nigoma zimatinye ntinda makunda agambe bishuba.
The NRM Vice Chairperson for the Western Region, Engineer Jonad Asimu Akiki, urged the independents to work together with NRM flag bearers to strengthen the party's unity ahead of the polls.
Okuba no supportinga omuntu atali flag, okuba no yaukana hali mzeyi ekiasabire. Deni naba independent bana bomuka good. Kionka tuina program yokubaza nabo okurora nti the anger ekendeire kandi tukoleere hamu.
The district NRM chairman Prosper Tuhaise revealed that the Ankole region is ready to welcome President Museveni.
Niza kubashomba mwena tuze kwizubera kandi bareke tubagare mwene spiko kandi president nza kumlinda kwizubera numunjiza mwena oryono mkikuru mwana niza kutombotoka zona jera tigane president
abina kasimu kakanje numuza kutandikira nsindikiraho.
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja has assured the people of Nakasongola that government will compensate them before using their land. Government wants the land to set up a nuclear energy plant to produce 24,000 megawatts of electricity.
Prime Minister Robin Anabanja has assured the people of Nakasongola that the government cannot proceed with the nuclear energy development in their area without compensation. She was meeting a cross-section of leaders from Nakasongola district in Kampala. Nabanja says that the NRM government that returned land to the Wananchi cannot take it away without compensating them.
So singa processes zonna zigira ne bagamba ti a processes zituuse wanooka webajja okugenda nyukinya tuli fenna ne wabawo option eyo ne compensation mujja kugifuna.
This followed concerns raised by the leaders from Nakasongola, including members of parliament and local leaders, that the Chisenyi area in Kalunji sub-county is overpopulated and needs to be reviewed. The government of Uganda plans to produce 24,000 megawatts of power from nuclear energy in Buyende and Nakasongola districts.
And the performance of government programs and projects has a direct impact on the public confidence in government and consequently on the chances of your re-election.
Nabanja says that she invited leaders to her office so that they discuss service delivery in Nakasongola.
The success or failure of government initiatives directly impacts service delivery and the public trust. Unfortunately, we continue to hear cases of stalled or poorly performed projects leading to wastage of public resources in some cases. But we also have projects that have been performing very well.
The Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Ruth Nankabira Sentamu, says government carried out geological surveys under the supervision of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and Uganda is ready to start generating electricity from nuclear energy.
Project affected the area. Is it 32 kilometers? Is it 3 kilometers? I'm going to find out from the technical people. We are suspending activities for further engagement.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. UBC News Tonight returns.
Ugandans, the unstoppable internet deal of deals is here with MTN Wakanet Fiber. Connect your home with our starter pack of 100 Mbps at only 99k. And if you want more speed for less, we've got you. Get the 200 Mbps at only 129k. And the fastest one yet? Enjoy up to 500 Mbps at only 250k. To sign up, use the My MTN app or dial *100 *23#. Offer is valid till the 30th of November for both new and existing subscribers. Together, our connection is unstoppable.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
nateranga nyingiro ne banafa ba MTN wanje MTN walololo MTN gamba chi to get the power to win njagalo funa elyanyi okuwangula ogenda kuwangula ota ngenda kubanga babukade 10 buli wiki wanje ngenda kubanga kwasa obukade 10 buli wiki kusimu yeye nyingine chabonka chimuchoka line ya MTN banabeka buli ogenda okusasula ekintu kyonna ogenda okusasula ndakwese momo obulira buli ogenda okusasula ngenda kyosasula kyonna kozesa momo ozo kwanga ngenda kwewola kasente kozesa momo wanje ogenda ku investinga kozesa momo abwe MTN we jamani nekwa bukade 10 buli wiki wala kastelyo bimala bwe pala wentandika ngamba kyekiriwo wanje nenkwata ku masimu ngamba halo walirudawa tenze tirinyi halo walirudawa zende guru halo walirudawa ndi mutukula halo oliwa ndi mwanange ndi wano mu office ntode nyiga ma computer nenkuta awa namwe kasana benesi okubelanga mwana wote koze bitu no manga epeyinze ebolo winze investinze ngekozesa momo. Remember to dial star 165# or use the Momo app to borrow, to pay, to invest, and you could stand a chance to win 10 million weekly.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. State Minister for Disability Affairs, Asamo Helen Grace, has reiterated government's commitment to promoting equality, dignity. Addressing the media in Kampala, Asamo said that government will support participation of little persons in all spheres of life.
Little persons, also referred to as persons with short stature or persons affected by dwarfism, face challenges of inaccessible infrastructure to social stigma and exclusion. State Minister for Disability Affairs says Uganda will commemorate the day to create awareness about dwarfism and ensure their inclusivity.
The primary objective of this day is to enhance public understanding of dwarfism, its causes, characteristics and management, while dispelling myths and reducing stigma.
Government will also establish policies and legal frameworks that empower people with dwarfism.
Through the celebration, we reaffirm Uganda's commitment to building the inclusive society where all persons with disabilities, including little persons, are valued, empowered, and fully integrated as equal members. Through continued collaboration with stakeholders, the government will enhance public awareness and service delivery to eliminate barriers, uphold dignity, and advance the full inclusion of little persons in Ugandan's development programs.
In the meantime, there are still challenges that affect the well-being of little persons.
Little persons continue to struggle with accessibility, recognition, and dignity in daily life. Most of Uganda's infrastructure, for example, buildings, roads, and public facilities have been designed without consideration of persons with short stature.
Persons of short stature are still vulnerable in this, in Uganda, in different communities. Simply, the explanation is, you find that we have 3 models of disabilities that applies to all types of disabilities, not only persons of short stature.
The International Day of Little Persons, on the theme Raising Awareness About Dwarfism and promoting inclusion of little persons in Uganda will be held at Kampala School for the Disabled in Mengo. The Uganda National Housing and Population Statistics 2024 shows that Uganda has over 194,271 little persons aged 18 and above, with 89,102 males and 105,169 females. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
The Commissioner for Renewable Energy at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Brian Isabidye, has said that Uganda has not achieved clean cooking targets. He was speaking during a stakeholders engagement organized to commemorate the 2025 Renewable Energy Conference in Kampala.
Ugandans have been called upon to embrace smart and clean cooking technologies to address the health, environmental and economic challenges associated with traditional biomass fuels such as charcoal and firewood. The engagement was organized by the British High Commission and brought together various stakeholders in the energy sector, including actors in e-mobility, innovators, agricultural experts, and researchers. It aimed at deepening understanding of ongoing clean energy initiatives, innovations, and how these can be effectively implemented across the country.
It shows how the innovations are tackling not just energy, not just renewable energy, not just electricity, but kind of a wide range of problems.
Innovators showcase the impact of clean energy solutions, especially in the e-mobility sector, highlighting their contribution to creating clean and safer environments.
We have built eBus Express on a franchising model platform, where we're bringing the power of investment back to Ugandans.
Developing local manufacturing, which we know is a key priority of the Ugandan government. It's not about building a building, it's about building an ecosystem.
Dr. Brian Isabidye, Commissioner of Renewable Energy, emphasized the critical need for Ugandans to transition to smart cooking technologies.
We know that as a country, our cooking is still bad. We cook predominantly with traditional biomass. And we are thinking that if we put in place initiatives that now transition this country to better cleaning options, then we are able to conserve the forests and the vegetation that other communities depend on as a source of energy.
Meanwhile, farmers were concerned about limited access to clean energy technologies.
How are we prepared for our colleagues in Masaka? Because the moment I make a report, people would want to see how available, how soon the brand will extend to Masaka.
So the reason people are complaining about no power in certain places and yet we're over-generating in that sense is because the power cannot get to them. Not because it's not sufficient, but because of the infrastructure that is required to deliver the power to them.
Other participants shared perspectives on how renewable energy can catalyze social and economic development.
So we support farmers through capacity building, but also provide with solar systems that enable them to produce consistently throughout the year.
So if we can create a new type of pack, a new type of cell holder that allows us to assemble those packs without doing the welds, then we can much more easily recover those packs and repurpose them into new products.
Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabgude, UBC News.
A delegation from the University of the West of England has concluded its week-long visit to Uganda. This wrapped up engagements focused on strengthening academic, research and tourism partnerships.
During the visit, the team, facilitated by the Uganda High Commission in the UK, signed a memorandum of understanding with Makerere University and explored collaboration opportunities with other institutions. The delegation also toured Buganda Kingdom culture sites and the Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary.
I think the work here that they're doing is really important, you know, rescuing baby chimps from people's homes, but you know, when really they should be living out in the wildlife. So this sanctuary is somewhere that they can become well again, they can recover, and they can start sort of building and integrating them back into their proper social networks. It's just wonderful, isn't it, seeing them all together.
They expressed interest in future tourism and education partnerships.
Because I'm from the University of the West of England, and we have a wildlife ecology and conservation program, we have a wildlife filmmaking program, we have environmental science programs, and we work with our students to do all sorts of work, from carrying out research to habitat monitoring to environmental management, and a host of things that I think is really, I can see the synergies between the work that is going on here and the work that we do in the school. So for me, it's really fantastic to see, really impressive to see the amount of work that is done here, but also the level of care that is also given to the chimps in this space. So for me, I think this is something that is really, really important. I would love to be back here, and I would love to see some of our students. I would like to see some of my colleagues actually come out here to do research. We are very research active, and a lot of our colleagues who work in this area would really want to connect and engage with the people who are working in this space and supporting and actually enabling good community life for these chimpanzees.
Discussions emphasized capacity building, student exchange and joint research projects, with the Uganda High Commission UK at the helm.
We would like to request everyone who is linked to Uganda High Commission to listen to the plea that they're going to make about Uganda. This is about exploring Uganda. We have got lots of things for people to see, and the message will be directed from the High Commission.
The delegation pledged continued collaboration with Ugandan partners to improve learning outcomes and promote cultural exchange.
The Executive Secretary of the Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board, Onesmus Oyesije, has urged trainers to develop innovative and job-oriented curricula to reduce unemployment in Uganda.
Speaking at a TVET feedback workshop held at UVTAB headquarters in Tinda, Oyesije said trainers must propose new ideas that reflect modern industry needs.
They are going to give us feedback. They are going to tell us so far what they have experienced, and then we shall agree on how to improve what we are doing so far. Being that this is a new organization, and we are 6 months old, but we have carried out some assessments. So it's what we are discussing now. Of course, you can see the reform is taking another direction, not original direction we are doing when we are in formal organizations. For example, we have been telling them while we are going to do assessment on informal training, these trainees will be submitted through TVET providers, those which shall be accredited and licensed. So there are very many things which are going to change, but also have to bring them on board. So far, they are raising issues regarding the timing of the reform.
UVTAB will review existing programs and retool trainers, improve teaching quality to align learning outcomes with national development goals.
All of the world of work is to identify those occupations for which they need skills developed. Okay, so this is how they come in, and in fact at the level of the TVET Council there will be sector skills expert committees who are routinely doing this work. How the TVET providers come in is that because within the community where these TVET providers are, there's industry, there are SMEs who are looking for these skills. So this is why we are also asking them to make an input, because from where they are based, they can also identify that, people are coming to us asking, do we have a baker, do we have this, or do we have that? Because with the TVET system, actually you are empowered to really build the skills and capacity within your environment.
Jalian Nasaza urged trainers to maintain professionalism and emphasize practical skills as Education Ministry officials called for collaboration to strengthen Uganda's TVET system.
We are looking at the old curriculum, and then we are looking at what are the gaps. Then we get the knowledge and skills that are lacking in the old curriculum, and then we just add in. So in that process, we shall have just reviewed. But then we have instances where we need to develop a completely new curriculum, where we find maybe, for example, the content is too disconnected from what is required in the industry, or where we find that there are new skills that have emerged that we need to come up with a curriculum.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Karamoja Sub-Region has marked the Post-International Peace Day in Maru Sub-County Kotido District under the theme, Act Now for a Peaceful World. The event featured traditional dances and brought together security officials, political leaders, civil society groups and the local community.
Kotido Resident District Commissioner Charles Chogor thanked stakeholders for their efforts in restoring peace and called for unity in the region.
Kotido is generally peaceful now. I can confirm that 80% of Kotido district is peaceful, embrace the peace. Two, in order to consolidate this peace, I would like to urge the population of Kotido, the parents, the children to take their children to school.
Major General Wilberforce Nseru Kumba, the 3rd Division Commander, urged youth to shun crime and embrace peace for development.
Our leaders should educate our Karachunas how to involve themselves in this government program, to see that Karachuna has something to do after depositing the gun in the anger. The gains, we have to protect our Karachunas who brought back the guns. One, we protect the peace. You have brought the peace. We have now to protect it. That is also our...
Paul Pirimeo, Karamojong Human Rights Officer, emphasized the need for civic education and protection for human rights.
It enables human rights. You enjoy rights when there is peace. You can never have the enjoyment of human rights when there is insecurity, when there is...
Partners of the BRIC project such as GAD, Warrior Squad and Better World shared how the UNDP and Koika funded initiative in Moroto and Kambong districts over the past 2 years.
Yes, in the conflict affected areas, especially the Karamoja project, we have also been able to skill close to 600 youth, especially the Karachunas that have been able to surrender and give out their guns. So we have skilled them in the Kotido Technical, in Kabongo Technical and the Moroto Technical Institutes. We are due to graduate them and give them the startup kits such that they're able to start earning incomes as a result of the skills that they have acquired. From the
This cash for work activities, we're able to pay them the money after work. We constituted the village VSLS, Village and Savings Association, where they're able to put their money. So during our monitoring visit, it was a great surprise for us. We managed to see these reformed warriors, these benefactors, form their groups, and they're able to save. In one of the groups, they saved up to 11 million. Reformed warriors saving up to 11 million.
We have received 19 guns, and these guns were passed through us, where we negotiate with the government, especially the security, for amnesty, full amnesty to the Karachunas.
Members of the Inter-University Council of Banyarwanda students in Uganda have been urged to embrace unity and promote cultural diversity within their communities.
At your impact. Also remember, as much as we take pride in who we are, we must also take responsibility. Responsibility to support one another, responsibility to be part of solutions, not problems.
The role and responsibility of continuity, meaning you must continue and parade. You can't be a child forever.
We patronage and promote an ideology called Pan-Africanism that works.
Celebrating culture, which we think is very important, because as we
government of Uganda is that
the Deputy Secretary General of the East African Community, Andrea Arik, has underscored constructing the multinational Kenya-Uganda Expressway as a catalyst for economic integration in the region.
Regional experts in transport infrastructure development are drafting mechanisms of delivering the construction of a multinational Kenya-Uganda Expressway between Kisumu, Busia and Kakira-Malaba. The Deputy Secretary General of the EAC, Andrea Arik, recognizes regional transport infrastructure which has missing links.
The road will run from Kisumu to Jinja. The intention is to decongest the northern corridor and to enhance and facilitate the transportation of goods through Uganda to Rwanda and to Republic of South Sudan. So the road will be beneficial to the community, as it will reduce the time that is taken by our vehicles moving all the way from Mombasa to maybe Kampala or even to Eastern Congo. The time will be reduced. The cost also of buying those goods will be reduced.
Development partners like the African Development Bank have provided grants to enable the community prepare high-quality and bankable infrastructure projects.
The potential bids are currently under evaluation, and we hope to have a financial close by December to identify a contractor that is going to construct the Kampala-Jinja Expressway. In the meantime, as a government, the government has prioritized the resources for the rehabilitation of the existing road. Because even if you have the expressway, the SGR still the existing road is needed. So very soon, works are going to continue to make sure that the existing road is in motorable condition to ease the current challenges that transporters are experiencing around this corridor.
According to plan, the project will also capture construction works along Kimaeti-Rwakaka route and develop the Rwakaka border into a one-stop border post.
So already you've done Nairobi Expressway, although that one is not used, it's mainly for the city, but you're working on the Nairobi-Nakuru Summit, which is part of the Northern Corridor. We're already negotiating that, but in a different concept, where it's a privately initiated proposal where the private sector initiates and undertake the feasibility studies. We are thinking about where traffic volumes are high, like the Northern Corridor. And it's also just to make it also very competitive. You know, there's also the Central Corridor in Tanzania. So we're looking at ways in which the transporters can make savings in terms of time and cost of transport by having a better road. And with that, that can supersede, the benefits might supersede even what they're paying for the transport.
The Kenya-Uganda Expressway project will create jobs, reduce transit times, and enhance productivity to attract investment and public-private partnerships.
Gomba District Environment Officer has conducted raids against illegal sand miners in Kifamba and Kabula-Soke sub-counties on Katonga River between Gomba and Kalungu districts with the aim of protecting the environment.
They later proceeded to Kifamba sub-county, where a road was being constructed across the Katonga River. There, they found no people, only fuel jerrycans and an excavator loading sand. Deo Ayebale, who led the wetland enforcement team, said the miners were operating illegally using excavators that risked collapsing the riverbanks and could lead to further flooding.
They have been doing this activity for so long and have tried our best as a district to see that we eliminate them from doing this destruction. But all in all, they are very stubborn. They really work at night, and which is a bit difficult to enforce something at night.
Gomba District Environment Officer Chobutunji Winnie said illegal sand mining on the Katonga River causes flooding and damages roads and property.
Because these people are removing vegetation which was thick and firm, but now it has been loosened. So the impact is likely to be severe in the future. As you are aware, we had an effect of the River Katonga curving in at Kayabu.
She added that although the authorities have conducted several raids, some miners operate under armed protection, and she urged higher authorities to intervene. Winnie further noted that despite joint operations with NEMA, no arrests have been made, as miners often work at night. Meanwhile, Ayebare said there might be informants, alerting the miners ahead of the operations, since the sites are often deserted upon arrival.
These people, they have informants. Kasoiteri mu senteri bategeera bamayati kati abantu bayingidde nti babakubira obusiru naye still tugezaako kulaba tukola kye tusobola.
He added that the sand mining problem is not only environmental, but also infrastructure, as heavy trucks have left roads full of potholes, forcing officials to abandon vehicles and proceed on foot during inspections. Some residents and leaders complained about the road damage caused by heavy trucks, which makes it difficult for children to reach school and farmers to transport goods, calling on authorities to take action.
Olw'enguudo nti ab'omusenyu bonoonye ekkubo lyaffe bagenda baguyiwayiwa mu makubo ne bwe tugezaako tereza kye twaterezeza leero ate enkya tusanga kyayonoona.
Environmental degradation in Gumba, driven by deforestation and wetland destruction, has raised fears of increased flooding in the area.
Uganda is set to make history as the first African country to establish a national chapter of the Institute of Asset Management, the world's leading professional body dedicated to advancing excellence in managing physical assets across their life cycle.
An opportunity to have people aware of this discipline and be able to also get knowledge and put it into practice. So this is a great opportunity that we have looked forward to, and we are so privileged to be working with the IAM chapter Uganda.
Regarding the assets that we have, there are quite a number of them. We have pump stations that will stay. We call them above the ground installations. In Uganda, we got 2 of them, which will stay and have to be managed for the next 25 years or so. We've got the pipeline itself. It's a highly integrated and very, very technical pipeline that has to be maintained all through the operation phase. So this asset management comes really handy for the people of Uganda to embrace this opportunity.
Generally, the people in the country think asset management is what we do to the assets, but no. We are coming to change a mindset, and the government has realized that asset management is how you can extract value from those assets in a sustainable manner. Extracting it from in a sustainable manner means you will not have issues. You've already done the risk management and resilience strategies, for example. You have people competent to do that.
In now as a chapter and as the Institute of Asset Management, we hope to bring that professional outlook of things and that professional outlook of the operation and maintenance of these very assets to maximize their value. To maximize their value to the individuals, but also to the organizations and generally to the whole country as a whole. So the mind of the chapter, the mind of the institute is really to provide 2 main things. To provide a community of asset management practitioners, and therefore this community provides network opportunities that are able to enhance the technical capacity from the different individuals within the community.
Great business founders in Uganda have made a unison call to fellow founders to adopt succession plans that will be effective for business continuity.
Okay, we say the age of 30 or 35.
8% don't make it to the 3rd generation. And the reason or the gap or the lack of transition is not a lack of talent. It's mainly due to lack of planning and governance. Everything rises with leadership and everything follows with leadership. So
a problem of not paying attention to planning, to succession planning, we became very, very poor. It was unbelievable. And So as a child, this kept ringing. And then I had a series of uncles who seemed to be doing well. And as soon as the uncles died, the kids would start fighting. And as a child, I was looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, so-and-so is fighting so-and-so. This is incredible.
You must mentor these next generation leaders on what it means to be a successful owner, and to look at it in the perspective of stewardship as opposed to ownership, meaning that this does not belong with you, but it is in your possession for now. And what are you going to do with it? Because it's not yours, but it's in your custody. It's important to educate them on things like what are the roles and responsibilities of the board, the shareholders and the management. How does strategy affect us as shareholders, and what is the strategy for the business?
Despite the resilience of the businesses, you all face challenges resulting from failure to plan for the future, and as a result are unable to survive beyond the second or third generation. On that note, it is critical for family businesses to endeavour to develop the next generation of leaders. Today's theme sits well within this context as it highlights the importance of intentional succession, capacity building, and nurturing a shared vision across the generations.
I cannot stress enough the importance of planning ahead, of being open and honest between the first and second generation, and for the first generation to hand over the reins to the second generation in their lifetime. I believe this is one of the biggest blessings our parents have given us, the opportunity to take their businesses, make mistakes, succeed, and grow while still having their guidance and their input. My advice, if I can, to any family thinking about transitioning is this: let the next
The president of Botswana, Gideon Boko, has challenged African leaders to put an end on theft of public resources being laundered across the continent. He was officiating at the high-level Africa Civil Society Conference on strengthening Africa's fight against money laundering, terrorism financing and illicit financial flows in Gaborone, Botswana.
Africa is losing over $88.6 billion annually through money laundering and illicit financial outflows, a loss that continues to undermine the continent's economic progress and development. This was revealed at the high-level Africa Civil Society Conference underway in Gaborone, Botswana, focusing on strengthening Africa's efforts against money laundering, terrorism financing and illicit financial flows. It's against this background that the president of Botswana, Gideon Boko, urged African leaders to stamp out corruption and misuse of public resources, identifying them as the key sources fueling illicit financial movements. The executive director of Civic Advisory Hub Uganda, Yona Wanjala, said if Africa effectively tackled illicit financial flows, the continent could recover billions of dollars annually, funds that could be redirected towards infrastructure, education and social transformation. The conference is organized by Civic Advisory Hub Uganda, Spaces for Change Nigeria, the Ministry of Labour and Home Affairs of Botswana, and the Institute of Combating Illicit Financial Flows at the University of Botswana. It is on the theme, placing civic space at the heart of combating money laundering, countering terrorism and its financing in Africa.
That way we come to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching from wherever you are. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakune and the whole team. We wish you the best of the night and the week we start. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. it's even harder to lose weight? Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning,